Hey everyone, Dan here. Before we get into it, if you enjoy these videos, please hit the like and subscribe button. And keep in mind that these are my own thoughts, opinions, and ideas. These are not meant to be, nor should you take them as investment or trading advice in any way, shape, or form. Do your own due diligence, put in the work for yourself, and make your decisions based on that. Enjoy. All right, folks, here we are on Tuesday, February 20th. We're going to take a look at Teladoc today. So with earnings coming up, I thought we would take a look and see where it might hit some support or resistance, whether it has a big reaction to the upside or the downside. I'll preface this all by saying, remember, stocks can go sideways, even on earnings. So don't forget that in the midst of all of this talk of booming and busting. Now, I opened up this chart and it actually looks to me like we don't need to make any updates from the last time that we had this chart, which I believe was, ahead of or at this earnings here. So this has held up really well. The nearest in levels that we have, let's see how the day finishes up, but to the downside, 2015 will be the initial support level that I would see. If it slips that, 1926, 1816, and if it has a bigger reaction, we have levels down here just under 17, 16, and just above 15. Now to the upside, 2102 is the nearest in resistance level that I currently see. 2194, so that approached 22, 2261, and 2326. I do have one stretch up here as well at 2477. I threw in, if I'm remembering correctly, I don't know how I forgot this already, I think I put in some of these higher levels today just in case, it does get a healthy bump. Stock this price going up $4 would obviously be a pretty good percentage. Of course, if it does break that to the upside or the downside, and folks are interested, I'd be happy to come in and add another update to the chart. We can do another one while we're here. 2588. I could put that in, standing out to me. Now, in the think or swim side of things, it was out of the upper bound of the channel here for a while when it made that push to 30, and then it lost 50% of the stock price in the subsequent weeks. So down to 1502, and then trying to push since then. It did have trigger and fire back here, and then a retrigger and refire, one of my favorite sort of scenarios or setups, and that pushed it again up out of the upper bound of the channel, but came back, tried to test the mid-range of the channel, failed as it was triggering and firing again, and just sort of like batted itself between the mid-range and the lower bound, and now trying to establish price at or slightly above the mid-range of the channel. So we'll see how that sort of plays out as the reaction to earnings occurs. Now, the other significant thing is it is currently triggering and firing. So much like I would count back here, this trigger and fire, didn't result. There was a little bit of movement here, right? But nothing like the move to follow. And so that retrigger, even though it was brief, that retrigger and refire was really the deal. Now here, I'm wondering if it's going to be a similar thing. Trigger and fire here didn't really amount to much of anything, right? A little bit of volatility, but nothing major. And now a retrigger, and then if we get the refire, maybe that's where we get the real move. So we'll see if that's sort of in the cards. Now, keep in mind, I say a real move could come. This doesn't mean it's an upside move. A really big move could happen in either direction. Sometimes I feel like people get blinders on or hear what they want to hear or something. And when I say, could this stock have a big reaction, right? Is there a big move coming? And folks only hear, oh, it's going to jump to the upside, right? This is the time for the bulls to shine. That's not what that means. It means is a big move coming means it could be an outsized move to the upside or an outsized move to the downside. So, we'll see how that plays out with this trigger and fire as we head into earnings. Always one of the more interesting setups to see with the price to the mid-range of the channel, TTM squeeze indicator triggering, and earnings on the horizon. All right, folks, I hope that your trading week is off to a good start. And as always, I appreciate you watching, and I will see you in the next video.